It is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. If you're looking for a refreshing, citrusy kick this summer, go and grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I'm Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Okay, I listened last night, the All Analyst Club pushing out the play-by-play guys up there in Minnesota, at least for a series against the Cubs. Good job out there. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. Thought there was some good insight. A lot of stuff I want to do differently. We're going to talk about today, but no, it's good. I think it's a nice change of pace every once in a while to do something like this. I've said in any interview that I've done about it that I prefer play-by-play and analyst. I just think it's just a better product. But I think a lot of people also like the switch up and just kind of the more in detail baseball talk. So I thought we did a decent job of that. Pablo Lopez was amazing.
Great.
Talking about pitching. A little bit too heavy on the pitching for me, as you know, I'm more of a hitter. But no, it went good. And it was a great game, too. Twins crushed it. So.
Yeah, I thought Pablo Lopez, when he came in and said, I got kicked out of the press box for cheering, I thought that was very funny. It was cute. He's a good guy and added a lot of insight, and I'll be watching later today, so that'll be good. Quick tip of the cap. You saw this. You were there at Target Field for Justin Turner's 200th career homer. Pretty good because I think it shows perseverance in this game. Twice, I think he was DFA'd by, or at least non-tendered, Orioles, Mets. Finally found his footing in Los Angeles, where he became an icon with the Dodgers. And at 40-plus years old, still doing it.
Truly an icon in Los Angeles, and it was cool. I didn't get a chance to catch up with him before the game. I had a bunch of stuff to do, but I'm going to go make sure today I say congratulations and just kind of chop it up with him a little bit. He's a stud, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude, no question. And a guy named Justin, who's a Cubs fan, caught his 200th ball and gave it back.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I heard he was also a redhead.
Oh, okay. It's neat. And also 6'6", and he said it's easy to catch it when you're in the second row and you're blocking out the sun.
Yeah, he needs to relax a little bit.
All right. We're going to start, though, with a wild day and night in San Francisco. We're going to start at the finish because the finish was probably the craziest one we've seen all year. It was awesome. It was awesome. For people that did not see it, go check out the video if you're, audio only on our program right now. A walk-off 3-run inside the park home run. We hadn't seen something like that where you were down by multiple runs in your last up since Bobby Dernier for the Phillies against the Giants in 1989. Great stuff, man.
Yeah, you see when he hits it, he's like, oh, I crushed that ball. And then he's like, oh, wait, I play in San Francisco, and I just hit it to the deepest part of the park. I better get on my horse. And he's probably thinking at that point, like, maybe it'll go out, but I at least got to get on second base. And then the carom, obviously went almost all the way to left field. And at that point, it was ball game. The Phillies did a good job setting up there. Marsh was in position.
Totally.
But just the ball, the thing's going to do different things off that wall and just ricochet too far for him.
Yeah, that's one of the many nuances of that ballpark that just make it such an interesting watch when you're in person because that ball can go any direction. I was there for the 2007 All-Star game when Ichiro hit the first and I believe only inside the park All-Star game home run. So that sort of stuff happens in that park, and it was really, really neat. And it capped a really wild day for the San Francisco Giants. Although they didn't talk much about it, they were certainly in the news because of what's going on with one of their new acquisitions in Rafael Devers. Tuesday, the Giants DH, he was seen taking grounders at first base. Okay, this is something that obviously was a big issue up in Boston and part of what led to his trade to the West Coast. Well, apparently, Giant skipper Bob Melvin and one of their coaches, Matt Williams, who were former teammates with Will Clark, who was a great defensive first baseman. They asked him to work with Devers during the Red Sox series, right after he got traded there. Here's Clark on what went down.
We weren't going to go through anything physical. We're just going to walk through and say, hey, look, if throw's coming from over there, stand this way. If throw's coming from over there, stand that way. It wasn't going to be this big thing, right? And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he did not come out early at all, period. Not at all. I know what the fuck happened. I said, he didn't want to go out and be at first base and be 20 feet in front of their freaking dugout with, what went on in Boston. And now he's working with me at first base. He didn't want to have to go through all that bullshit through the press and the media. And so, anyway, so I completely understand. But Rafael Devers, the next time I'm in San Francisco, your ass will be on the field at first base.
You got that, Rafael Devers?
Oh my
You got that? Will. Oh, my God. All right. First of all, I just want your reaction. Is this a big deal or not?
No, I don't think Devers cares about that at all. And like, it's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, a baseball player's going to respect what Will Clark has done in the game. One of, a great, great player, no doubt about it. But you don't want to be talked to like that. Rafael Devers is a grown man. He can make his own decisions. He's a $300 million player. We cut the video off before Will Clark said, even if he has to go grab him by the back of his neck, I guarantee you the next time that they come into contact, Devers is not going to go work with him. He's not. You can't say that to somebody and then, oh yeah, let's go work together. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, there needs to be a mutual respect. Like, I get it. Will Clark, great player. Rafael Devers, also a great player. There needs to be mutual respect there. So, like, maybe Will Clark doesn't understand how the internet works because he was saying Devers is trying to avoid the media and didn't want that, and he understands it, but then he goes on his show, and now everyone's talking about what he said.
Yeah. So that's a show that Will does with Eric Burns in the Bay Area. Okay. I think a lot of people, because the Boston radio play-by-play guy brought this to everybody's attention, I believe, earlier in the week and said, hey, this is what happened. Look at the problem we got rid of. Boy, aren't we lucky. Well, yes, that might be true, but I don't think this shines a poor light on Rafael Devers. Who in the world thought it would be a good idea for him to work with Will Clark during the Boston series? Anybody? Anybody? Like, if they wanted him to work, let's pick another series down the line when Will Clark's going to be there. I mean, wouldn't that have been? And the whole issue with Rafael Devers was the lack of communication, it sounded like, between himself and the front office and the manager, and then it all went into a shitstorm. Well, if you're San Francisco, you have to take note of that. If you're Bob Melvin and Matt Williams, sit down with Rafael Devers and say, hey, we would like to have this happen. When would it be good? Would it be good this Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Let me check the schedule. Oh, Boston's in town. Probably not the best weekend to have you working out at first base pregame. Just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, there's that aspect to it. I understand that part. Like, hey, you don't want to go do that, but also, why not? Like, you're on a different team. Like, you're getting work in. Like, why is it embarrassing to do it in front of the dugout? Is it just like, hey, sorry, I wasn't this apt to the position change with you guys, yes, but I am here. Like, who cares? He got traded. He has nothing to do with the Red Sox anymore. So I don't really understand that. I do what you're talking about with Bob Melvin and Matt Williams. Like, they should have said, hey, do you want to go work with Will Clark?
Right.
Again, this is not a rookie. This is not some young player. This is Rafael freaking Devers, dude, who's established himself in the game. And when you do that, there's a level of respect that you expect. And clearly he's not getting that from Will Clark. And again, if he goes out and ends up taking ground balls or working around the bag with Will Clark, I'd be absolutely shocked. And I think something would have had to happen, because if somebody told me they were going to come grab me by the neck the next time they were there, you know what I would say? Earmuffs, go fuck yourself.
Well,
no matter who it is.
Okay, there's two separate things happening here with this discussion, in my opinion. Number one, what about, hey, you're a member of the team. If the team wants you to try and play first base, go do that. Whether the guy was
respectful. He said yes to that, though. He said he's going to work at it.
Okay.
He's doing it.
The other thing is that every player from not everybody, I don't want to generalize. That's wrong with me. There are a few players from the 80s and before, and even the 90s, That's the way they talk. I'm not dismissing it. I think it's barbaric. I think it's bullshit. They all think that they're the greatest generation. If you go ask the players from 15 years ago who stopped playing, they think they're the best generation. The new guys don't know. You go ask the guys from the early 90s who they stopped playing then. They thought they were the greatest generation, and so on and so on. And Will Clark was part of that. By the way, for people that don't know Will Clark, the player, I compare him to Freddie Freeman. He was a great baseball player, could use the entire field, drove the ball the other way, sweet swinging lefty, impossible to get out. The only difference is that Will was a red ass and Freddie Freeman's like the nicest guy ever. And will tell you that too. He was, he was on you. He was on you. So I don't know.
On it. I don't care how good you are. You have to have some respect.
Let us know in the comments section. Do you have any problem with either the way Will Clark said this or how Rafael Devers has reportedly gone about this, no show, all this sort of stuff? Yes or no, does Rafael Devers start a game at first base this year for the Giants?
Oh, I think he does.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
I think he does too. In the meantime, he's got to go start hitting. He's got 2 homers in like 100 plate appearances with this new team.
I talked about this a little bit with Jake. It's interesting. A lot of his numbers are down.
Yeah.
Strikeout rates up, walks are down, whatever. But 2 things that are up: batting average, balls in play, which is shocking, and also hard hit percentage. So I don't really know what that says about what's going on up there. It doesn't look great right now, and he has not really, bolstered that lineup the way he's supposed to. But I'm banking on him at some point being right in the middle of the lineup and leading them into what they're in the playoffs right now. They're a game above San Diego, game and a half above the Cardinals. So they're where they need to be. And I expect him, to at least be a guy that keeps them in the race.
At the end of the day, Giants fans don't give a shit whether he goes and works with Will Clark or stands Will Clark up. Are you putting balls in the bay? That's what they want to know.
What would Will Clark say if somebody said that to him? That's what I want to know.
Like back in the day, like if Willie McCovey
was like, I'm going to grab you by the neck.
Yeah, it does.
Like anything but that, he could have said, I'm going to make sure you come out and work with me, young man. Fine. I get it. Grab me by the neck?
Different generation. I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying. Covered some of those guys too. It wasn't fun. I can tell you that. Today's baseball players, way better to deal with. Way better. Those guys in the 80s and 90s.
Everyone's got soft nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
So soft.
Come on, man. Stop. All right, summer. It's here. But you got beach days. You got weekend getaways. You got backyard barbecues. Your to-do list isn't getting any shorter. Remember that patio set you promised to build by Memorial Day? We just passed July 4th. The grouting tutorial you watched but never actually followed. The garbage disposal that's been making that really weird sound since 2024. Well, enter TaskRabbit, your secret weapon for a carefree summer. TaskRabbit connects you with skilled taskers to help with moving and mounting and furniture assembly, home repairs, and much, much more. Many taskers are available to help the same day. So why wait for you to do it when a tasker can do it instead? TaskRabbit comes in handy in so many situations, right? I've been out of town a lot lately. Michelle, go call TaskRabbit because this rabbit, he ain't working that well and he can't get it done the way these people can. So the next time I know I am turning for those tough tasks around the house, tackle your to-do list today. Get 15% off your first task at TaskRabbit.com or on the TaskRabbit app. Use the promo code BASEBALL today. That's promo code BASEBALL today at TaskRabbit.com for 15% off your task. TaskRabbit. Book trusted help for home tasks. Yes, caller.
I use TaskRabbit all the time.
Do you?
I do.
Awesome.
There are times I got no time to do these things.
I hear you, bro.
It's legit, too.
I hear you.
I feel like it's also a bargain, so go use TaskRabbit.
Okay. Let's move on. Yankees take the opener of a series between the top 2 MVP candidates in the American League. Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, they both signed in.
High fly ball, right field, Moore back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya! A home run for Judge, number 34.
Cal with a deep drive to right field, way back and gone, up to the second deck in right field. Cal Raleigh, when will we stop being amazed? His 36th home run.
That is the most ever by a Mariner before the All-Star break, passing Ken Griffey Jr., who I heard was a pretty good ball player. Moving forward, are you more captivated by Aaron Judge's pursuit of becoming just the third player ever with multiple 60 home run seasons? And yes, he is on that pace. Or seeing how high Cal Raleigh can set the bar in terms of home runs hit by a catcher?
I want to see these guys duke it out for the eventual home run lead this year. I think that's what I'm most captivated for. I want to see this turn into a 1998 situation where we're seeing these guys go blow for blow. I think that's what everyone wants to see. I think we are going to see that, and the fact that both these guys are playing for, playoff teams, I think is going to be special. I don't know. I think everyone's split on this. Like, what is the actual true home run record? That gets thrown around a lot. There's a lot of people that still consider Barry Bonds the true 73 great. Is it Aaron Judge at 62 because he did it clean? So I think there's that aspect of it. Once these guys get into the 50s, which I think both easily will, again, Cal's 14 homers away from that. Once they get into that, I think that's when people are going to be really interested to see, number one, who's going to win this race, and then number two, like, can they both get to 60? Because 60 still, to me, and I think most baseball fans, is that elusive mark. 50 is great. We don't see that often, but 60 that's when it becomes a true, almost like a national conversation. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a back and forth situation like we saw last night. And then, I want the live look-ins. I want all of that stuff because that's a lot of fun to me. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think Cal's going to obliterate the catcher record set by Sal Perez. So I don't even think that's really even in discussion. I do think part of all of this, and part of it's Cal's fault, we're like overlooking the season the Judge is having. And we talk about Ohtani fatigue all the time. Dan had that graphic ready right over.
That way, Danny.
Oh my gosh. Look at the OPS plus.
It's incredible.
Now 100 is like league average. That means you're an average ball player. Judge's OPS plus is 231 right now. We're overlooking one of the better seasons we're ever going to see by an offensive player. And I don't think we should be. We talk about Ohtani fatigue all the time. I think we're getting a little bit of Judge fatigue, and we shouldn't.
Yeah, I think you made the first point, which is that we do significantly, and I'm partially to blame. Like, I look at Aaron Judge, I'm like, oh yeah, he did it again. And like, yes, we do have to sit down and enjoy it and soak it all in because we've never seen a ball player of these physical dimensions do it at the everyday ball player position. There have been 9 seasons where guys have hit 60 homers. Sosa's got 3, McGuire's got 2, Bonds, Ruth, Maris each have 1. So for him to get 2 is amazing. With Cal Raleigh, I can't stress this enough. Catcher is so physically demanding. You've played with guys who probably can barely move when they get to August. They are so beat up, the heat, everything that comes with. So that's why when you have an offensive catcher, you call it a cheat code. I think it's significantly more than that. Plus, we don't know how guys handle pitching staffs behind the scenes. We have metrics for framing pitches, for blocking balls, for throwing guys out. There is no metric for the guy who can also play psychologist to a 12 or 13-man pitching staff. So on top of that, their hands get beat up, their feet always hurt, their back's aching. If that guy gets to 55 home runs, holy shit. You're talking about one of the greatest offensive seasons ever in the sport based on the position he plays.
I think he's easily going to get there. And there are a couple things working in his favor, I think, along those lines. Number one, having a manager that was a former catcher, I think, is important. He understands the position and the wear and tear it takes on your body. Number two, he's catching at like a 75% clip right now, 25% going to the DH. I'm assuming that's going to flip a little bit. Although, there right in the thick of a playoff race. So having him behind the plate means a lot to them. So we'll see how that goes. I'm assuming he'll start to DH a little bit more. But I did Mike Petriello put a great award out about not award. He put a great article about this, and I gave an award on Talking Baseball about the catching position and the one knee down and what that's doing for guys' health behind the plate and the ability to catch more games. And your guy Stephen Vogt came out and said like that wear and tear that on your body is significantly less when you have the one knee down. So maybe all those things play in, and he's able to get through the season healthy. And yeah, I mean, I need it. I need both these guys to get to 60.
Okay. Let us know what you're watching for in the comments. Judge, multiple 60 home run seasons. Raleigh, how high can he get? By the way, the year that Salvador Perez set the record for most homers by a catcher, 48 in 2021, I wondered if there was a little wear and tear down the stretch. He hit 27 in the last 72 games,
Ooh.
The second half. So he got homer hot. Maybe that continues with Cal. We'll see. All right, it's time right now for Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Mountain Dew, where we take a look at teams who are climbing up or sliding down the mountain on the trek to the playoffs. And we'll continue the show with a stop in Milwaukee as the Brewers continue to play outstanding baseball. And boy, did their rookie take it to the defending World Series champs.
Tried to throw a little bit too hard and it hung. That happens a lot.
Threw it there, and he strikes out Freddie Freeman. Back-to-back Ks for Misiorowski. Got him. 101 on the outside corner. Got a dozen. 4 straight strikeouts now for Misiorowski.
I saw something on online that he didn't know who I was, so I hope that he knows me now. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know him now, huh? I mean, that was super impressive. Yeah, I mean that was unbelievable. It was really special. I mean, everything. Obviously the velo, but he's got 4 pitches, commands the ball, and made it. I mean, I don't know how you hit that, honestly. That's just really tough. So
those, of course, the sounds of Clayton Kershaw. He was asked about Jacob Misiorowski, whom he went against on Tuesday night, and said, I really don't know anything about him other than he's tall. Well, you just heard the post game. I imagine that Jacob Misiorowski, who's 23 years old and looks like he's about 16, probably went home, called his parents, and was like, did you hear what Clayton Kershaw said about me?
I don't think he's that. I think this guy is an absolute dog, and I think he's like, F everybody. I'm that good. I didn't know that about him. And, usually you say, okay, rookies are going to be tame. This guy's been anything but tame on the mound. He is a showman out there as well.
He is.
I think he's just that dude, Chris.
This is the first time I had a chance to really watch him. Obviously, I was a little busy with the other stuff. So I just seen highlights, but I really sat down and watched him. I was like, God, you kidding me? First of all, he's like 7'3" and 138 pounds. So physically, you don't see a lot of guys like him, but electric. He topped out at 101.6 on his way to striking out Ohtani. Like, come on, dude. And to get a dozen strikeouts, that was one shy of Freddie Peralta's rookie record for the franchise. Amazing. And then at the end of his 6th inning, he got a ground out and he went over to cover first. I thought he was going to spin himself into the ground. He was so excited the way he was doing it. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got to watch one of his starts live, got to call it, and I've watched 2 or 3 of them in full. And he is, I said it after the start against the Twins. I said we should be talking about this guy in the same vein as we talk about Paul Skeens. And I think I'm right on. I really do. Because the only knock on him was, can he throw strikes? And so far in his big league career, he's done that. He's been able to do that.
Yeah, he's done
one blow up start against the Mets, but I just, the way, like, the stuff is so freaking good.
You really believe that you can mention him in the same sentence as Paul Skeens?
I think you can. I think you talk to guys that faced him and they're like, I don't know how you game plan for that. I don't know what to do. Now, is Skeens more polished than him? Sure. No doubt about it. But like, I believe he's in the right organization. I think he's going to continue to at least be where he's at, or even have the chance to get better, maybe add a pitch. Right now he's a fastball, slider, curve, change guy. Who knows what he can add? Is he going to add a sinker? Is he going to add a cutter? The possibilities are endless right now for guys to add pitches. I just think that pure stuff, dog mentality that he has, like I truly firmly believe that we're looking at a guy that we can talk about with Paul Skeens.
Wow. That's interesting. Let us know. Is Plouffe nuts or is he on point?
The guys that he's beaten in head-to-head matchups, I saw this stat out there. Do you know who they are? Because I'm going to read them to you right now. Sonny Gray, dog. Joe Ryan, dog. Paul Skeens, dog. And then last night, Clayton Kershaw.
Pretty good. Pretty good list. He also got 21 swings and misses. When a fifth of your pitches are swings and misses for the other team, that's pretty good. In the meantime, the Dodgers, they have lost 5 in a row. That is tied for their longest skid since 2019. They've been outscored 41-8 in that span. Concerned at all? Let's do this one quick.
No. Like every team's going to go through a streak where they don't hit. Every team's going to go through a bad stretch of games through 162. I'm not concerned.
Yeah, overall their stats are pretty incredible. Lead Major League Baseball in runs, second in homers, second in OPS, second in on base. Bad stretch.
They do have a series coming up against the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they
do.
do.
The All-Star break. They're 5 games up in the division because the Giants are kind of hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've been winning some games.
Yep.
Talk to me after that series. I might be concerned if the Giants go out there and freaking run off a sweep.
I will talk to you in Atlanta.
Yes, you will.
When we are together. That'll be really nice. All right. Mets with a nice little come-from-behind win in the Charm City. Baltimore, Maryland. Juan Soto, who, by the way, did not make the All-Star team, with the go-ahead knock. Mets end up prevailing. After the win, Soto talked about not making the Midsummer Classic.
Would you have liked to make the All-Star team?
What do you think?
I don't know. Some people want to take vacation.
I mean, I think it's a lot of money on the table if I make it.
For the record, it is a $100,000 bonus. Did that kind of rub you the wrong way, the way you answered it?
No. What rubbed you the wrong way? I mean, he wants to be an all-star. He thinks he should be an all-star.
Hold on. Is that what you heard?
What? Maybe I didn't hear it right.
Dan, replay the soundbite, please, if you have that.
What do you think?
I don't know. Some people want to take vacation.
I mean, I think it's a lot of money on the table if I make it.
Just the money thing you're mad about?
Well, I'm not mad about anything. First of all, I don't really get mad about stuff like that. So, but all I heard him talk about was the money. It wasn't the slight. It wasn't, hey, you know what? I really deserve to be there. Hey, I want to hang out with my teammates. Hey, I want to go to Atlanta and get booed. Hey, there's a lot of money on the table. That's what I heard.
You know what? Someone probably just reminded him that, shoot, that was $100,000 we could have had. I don't think that's on the forefront of his mind at all. Maybe in that instance it was, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think guys like that, like a Juan Soto, they want to see their Baseball Reference pages loaded up with straight All-Star games. This guy wants to be in the Hall of Fame. That's really the only other thing he needs to accomplish in his career. I mean, he's got the World Series already. What's that?
He will be.
Yeah, so like legacy, that's what he's thinking about.
Yes, I would agree with that. The only reason I brought up the money thing was because I've always felt this way. I think that if you make a certain amount of money in this game, let's say over $30 or $40 million a year, you should actually give back to the team if you don't make the All-Star team. You should be like, well, I should make the All-Star team. You invested in me. If I don't make it, I'll give something back. It's a joke, everybody, but there's a little bit of me that wants to say it would be fun.
I mean, there's no way he's concerned about $100,000. A guy that's got $800 million coming his way.
Right.
I don't think, what's the percentage of $100,000 into $800 million? It's really small.
My guess is that if he brings family down for that weekend, that $100,000 won't even cover his weekend or weekday or however many days you spend in Atlanta.
Maybe he was trying to be relatable, Chris. He's
maybe
like, $100,000, a lot of money, because to most people that's a lot of freaking money. To Juan Soto, not very much money. Can you imagine $100,000 being like,
Yeah, there's some people that won't get out of bed for that.
I'll get out of bed.
Exactly. Here I am, not sleeping right now.
Most people would get out of bed for that. I'd jump out of bed.
Yeah. Well, what's the dollar figure that you would be like, nah?
Dude, I still think $100 is a lot of money, but everything costs $100 now. Like if you give me a clean, crisp $100 bill, like I like that still.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up because last night Josh was feeding our dog and he looked at the dog food, which we're like, okay. He goes, Dad, would you eat this bowl of dog food for $200? I said, no. He goes, what? You wouldn't? I said, Josh, no. I said, look around. Take a 360. I'm not eating dog food for $200. I'm not in a frat. What the hell? Come on, man.
Your mansion, he's got to know.
Well, what would you eat it for 200?
I mean, that's dog food. That's disgusting. Like, no.
But it's like real food for the most part. It's just.
That's so different. Like eating nasty food is not. Okay, how about this? Because now we're talking about it. How much to eat a bowl of human ready dog food? Like what's your limit? Like where do you say yes to it? $1,000?
God, I don't think
I don't think you do it for $1,000 either.
I don't either. It's probably got to be like, probably $5,000.
You start to think about what can I do with the $5,000 if I eat this bowl?
Yeah.
$5,000 will put you on vacation.
Yeah, good vacation.
Not the vacations do you take?
No.
Definitely not the ones I take. My gosh.
No way. Hey, you're hanging with high rollers, brother. That's your call.
You're telling me, bro. That's why I'm doing double duty today, calling a game and also running our show.
Wait a second. The Rams aren't paying you the same as they pay Stafford? I'm confused.
I am not making over $40 million this year.
All right, it's very simple. Let us know what you would eat the dog food for. How much it would take you to finish that bowl. Got to lick it clean, too. Okay? All right, this show, Baseball Today, it is sponsored by BetterHelp. Workplace stress, it is now one of the top causes of declining mental health. 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress. And to battle stress, most of us can't wave goodbye to work, but we can start small with a focus on wellness. Something as simple as getting some sun while playing catch. It can make a huge difference in your life. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient as well. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners, you get 10% off the first month at BetterHelp.com/baseball today. Once again, that is BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball today. We wish you well on your journey. All right, before we get out of here, we got a couple new people that are joining the Home Run Derby. Junior Caminero, Tampa Bay Rays. He joined it early on Wednesday. Good for him. He's had a great year. Also made the All-Star team. O'Neal Cruz, he signed on to do the Derby as well. He mashed one off of Seth Lugo last night. I mean, the way he stood there at home plate, everybody thought it was a foul ball until they realized it went over the right center field wall and kept going into Fountainville. So when we watch him do the Derby on Monday night, are you more interested to see how far you can hit it or how fast the exit velo is?
I think it's going to be. I think there's some guys in this home run derby that it's dangerous for people to try to catch the ball. Like O'Neal, like those kids out there in the outfield thinking about 120-mile-an-hour ball coming off O'Neal Cruz's bat. That's dangerous. Like I think the Major League Baseball needs to remember that. You see those kids out there, you're like, oh my gosh. I'm still a distance guy. I want to see balls way up in the air. I want to see them go deep. And I've never been to Truist Park, so I don't even know, like, what is a huge homer? Like, where do you need to go and what it's going to look like? So I'm excited to see all of that. So distance for me.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Let's see here. Dan, send me a note here. Oh, well, people do care. Dallas Keuchel signed a minor league deal with the Royals. Yeah, he threw 92 at his session, where everybody could watch. So that was good. Yeah, I agree with you. I still want to see how far guys can hit it, and we know he can hit it. They ought to make him do it like the old pass, punt, and kick for little kids. They ought to have him do everything. Hit it, see how fast he can run around the bases and see how hard he can throw it. I mean, he's not playing in the game, so let's just have him do all these little tricks for us.
Eventually we're going to get a skills competition. I've been saying that we need to do it. Hopefully the Major League Baseball figures that out, because I think that would be. I don't want to overtake the All-Star game because we've seen that in other sports.
It already has. Monday's way better than Tuesday.
The home run derby, you think? I don't know. There's still some really like pitcher batter matchups still get me going, and you see some of the best matchups you're ever going to see, and just like in a row. Think about like Pedro Martinez and like what he did to some of those guys. I still really enjoy that aspect of the.
Yeah, but we don't get that very often. We did get Skeens last year, and that was cool to see. I don't know. I think home run derby Monday is better. But you're right. I'm worried about those kids out there. I've seen it where kids have gotten nailed, and like they drag them out, and they just continue. It's like watching a Sunday NFL game. They just,
keep going.
Gladiators must continue on.
Byron Buxton has he's competing in it. Guy from Atlanta or outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, from Georgia. Yep.
Tommy Watkins is going to throw to him, and he was actually teared up, man. It was pretty cool.
But that means nothing to us. Can you explain who Tommy Watkins is?
Tommy Watkins is a third base coach for the Twins. He's been in the organization forever, since like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Byron asked him, he's really excited about it. And Justin Morneau told a story last night on the broadcast about Joe Varver, our former hitting coach. He threw to him, and he said on the Derby day, he always texts him like, "What a memory that was! Like, thank you for including me." It means a lot. I think that's another thing I'm super interested in, and I think people need to pay attention to is who's throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some really fun stories about that. Like Cal Raleigh's dad is going to throw to him, which is awesome.
It's great. Yeah. No, we've seen a lot of that. Bryce Harper's dad did it. He won it. Those are always amazing stories. Very, very cool. And by the way, Morneau won the Derby that nobody remembers him winning because Josh Hamilton lit it up in New York. I think that was 2008.
Yeah, and I think it was Manfred called him Jason Morneau.
Well, Manfred wasn't the commissioner then.
I think he was. He was somebody who gave him the trophy.
2008?
Was it Seelig?
Seelig was still the commissioner.
Okay, maybe it was Seelig then.
Okay.
Not bad.
All good.
Not bad, Bobby.
Listen, maybe it was Rob Manfred, commissioner in waiting, that gave him the trophy. But I do think that Bud Selig was still the commissioner.
It's probably Bud Selig.
Probably acting commissioner, because he was like acting commissioner for 20 years, whatever the hell that meant. All right, good fun show. A lot for you to comment on. Keep doing that. Keep hitting the subscribe button. Keep hitting the like button. A lot of cool stuff. We got our plans for Atlanta. We cannot wait for that. And listen to Plouffe tonight on the all analyst broadcast for the Minnesota Twins. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you again Thursday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.